So you want to live forever-ish? Well, then you got to know what's in and what's not. Stay tuned to find out.
You're listening to Live Foreverish, a show dedicated to helping you live just a little longer. Here's your hosts, Dr. Mike and Dr. Crystal Gossard.
All right, living forever-ish. A little longer, but
and
a whole
lot stronger.
That's our whole thing. And so we always like to talk about some things you want to do and things you don't want to do, or you don't want to have, or you want to avoid, right? So we'll get right into this. The first thing that you want, if you want to live forever-ish, is you need to get some cashews in your system.
I know. Kudos.
I love.
I don't know. It was like a woohoo and
a
kudos,
cuckoo,
and it all
it became
blurred
cuckoo.
together.
I love nuts and all seeds. Cashews not my favorite though. I know. I'm weird. I don't know what it is. They have like a softer texture
the
to
chewy,
me.
yeah, and they get stuck in your teeth.
Yeah, it's different. Where I like the walnut, I like the almond.
Yeah.
My favorite pistachio. Yeah, but let's talk about cashews.
Well, I'll tell you, I love cashews. My family loves cashews, and this is one that I can actually get my kids to eat. I send just a little container of cashews to school, and they don't send them back.
So they're eating it. They're definitely not trading them. No, would you like my cashews for that Reese's peanut butter cup?
Well, they rarely make the healthiest nuts list.
Yeah.
They have less fiber, and so I figured they're good for you. There's some research with cashews,
It's a nut.
and this is a study showing.
Let's say cashews aren't healthy, but go ahead and have Reese's peanut butter cup, whatever. Before we do, wait, real quick.
Yes.
Let's make that connection to living forever-ish a little longer, a whole lot stronger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, cashew consumption was associated with smaller waist size, which is a cardiovascular risk factor, and lower oxidative stress.
Which is a hallmark
of aging. Okay, there you go. So now they know why we're talking about cashews. So tell us what's going on here.
Now, so just full on disclaimer: the study that we are reviewing, it's a 2025 study published in the journal Nutrition Research, and this study is in adolescents, age 10 to 14. But I thought it was useful to talk about. We do know that 1 in 5 U.S. children and adolescents are dealing with obesity. And we're always looking for things, as a mom to put in their lunch boxes. What can we send? If your school allows you to bring nuts. And because it's good and good for you.
Yeah, a lot of schools don't allow that anymore.
Yes.
But let's, I like it doesn't bother me that these are in adolescents. I think this is still good information because we also know some good GI specialists, friends of mine, do believe that a lot of that higher cancer risk of like colon cancer that you're seeing in younger people is coming from when they were kids with larger waist sizes. So there could be a connection there too. So all around, cashews is part of living forever-ish.
I would say so. So this was a 12-week, randomized control trial. 87 adolescents completed the study, and there was a cashew group. They received 1 ounce or about 2 tablespoons of roasted cashew nuts.
How many would that be? Do you have an idea what that?
No.
That's not many.
No, it's not much. I mean, 2 tablespoons. I think we can all.
You can put it
that's
in your
about
palm.
A tablespoon.
Easy, like in your palm.
In your palm for sure. And plus nutrition education. And then there was a control group that only received nutrition education. So I'm loving everything about this. Like kids learning about nutrition. Yes. And
that's great.
So the assessment was the waist circumference, body composition, and then the secondary outcomes we're looking at those oxidative stress markers.
Those markers. And so in the cashew, how to get that out, group, significant decrease in waist circumference, a decrease in oxidative damage. Again, across the board, we're seeing a better result with those outcomes in the cashew group.
And one note, I would have to say this, is that the participants didn't lose. There wasn't weight loss, and this isn't on our script, Dr. Mike. But it was something that stood out to me. But there was more of a fat redistribution, so they lost.
That's the hypothesis.
The waist circumference, but there wasn't the waist, overall weight loss. But that's fine.
Yeah, that's
right.
The real risk, at least for cardiovascular disease, is not necessarily the weight; it's where it's at.
And I think that's important because we don't need to, scare parents or create these expectations that the kids need to be skinny. Right? Yeah. That's not what we're saying. But we are saying that the waist circumference, that is your risk factor.
If your child is obese with a large waist circumference, it's probably I would be talking to nutritionists, doctors, and you want to bring that down. Yeah. And cashews is maybe a healthy way to be a part of that, right?
Yes.
What's interesting is the control group with their education. They do have a drop in total antioxidant capacity. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So that means they learned a little bit, and maybe we're eating a few more berries and stuff. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think nutrition, the knowledge, you hope that knowledge transitions to better behavior.
Right. And maybe it did.
Doesn't always work out. In my thesis work for my master's, it didn't turn out that way.
All right. So that's interesting. Cashews, part of living foreverish. Let's go on to number 2.
Glucosamine.
Glucosamine. Now, people immediately are thinking, oh, joints. Which is important. If you're going to live forever, you got to keep moving, right? Yeah. But what's the aha moment here?
The aha moment is that glucosamine was evaluated to see if it was associated with a reduced risk of surgery in patients with IBD or irritable bowel disease, inflammatory bowel disease.
You gotta be careful. Yeah, there's
IBS,
there's
and then
IBS, and there's IBD.
IBD that's your Crohn's, your ulcerative colitis.
Yeah.
So inflammatory bowel disease.
Yeah. So, and interesting, it seems that glucosamine, which we know is a part of kind of this mucus lining for the cells of the GI tract, and so maybe what we're doing is we're replenishing the building blocks of that protective covering.
Yes, and we also know that glucosamine has an anti-inflammatory effect and just protecting that coating. So it makes sense. People with IBD, we typically suggest adding in some glucosamine. In this situation, doses above 600 milligrams daily was associated with a lower risk of IBD-related surgery compared with lower doses. I know some people take some lower doses, but that's kind of the framework that we're seeing in this study.
And so and when you look at this study overall, I always like that if we need a disclaimer, we give it. This was observational, right? This was self-reported use of glucosamine.
Yes.
Right? And you got to listen, and it is fine. It's something to report on, but we're not going to draw absolute conclusions from this. Instead, we need to move on to a true randomized controlled trial. But this is often where things start.
It is. And one thing that I like now, it was there's dietary recall, which there are problems with dietary recall, but
that's
prescription records as well. So some of these individuals were prescribed glucosamine, and that's the data that is a little more reliable.
Again, I think
if you're
this
prescribed it doesn't mean you're taking it.
It doesn't. Compliance with prescription medications is only about 70%, and it gets worse as they get older.
Oh gosh, really?
Oh, it's so low. People get over 65, and it's probably 50-60%. Yeah, it's so low. That's why doctors are always working out. Can we put everything in one pill? What are we doing? Because compliance is so bad. Anyways, hey, I can't wait to see the RTC. But in the meantime, we have over 6,000 people, right, with IBD, right? This is from the UK. They're looking at that self-reported glucosamine, prescription records, all that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, and this was a 12.2-year follow-up.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah, so that's
follow-up.
Yeah, and you need that because inflammatory bowel disease is a progressive thing over time. If you only did 2 years, that doesn't work, right?
Right.
Yeah. So what did they find?
Well, they found that regular glucosamine supplement use was associated with a 27% lower risk of IBD-related surgery overall compared to those who did not. And then there was the subgroup of Crohn's disease, subgroup analysis, and the risk of surgery in those individuals was 40% lower in those who use glucosamine.
Yeah, it makes sense that the Crohn's population did a little better. Often ulcerative colitis that's the
I feel
the
so
worst
bad
of them.
for
Yeah, not to say
dealing
Crohn's
with
isn't
that.
bad. If you have don't send me an email. I know it's all bad, but overall, if you were just to randomly look at people with Crohn's and people with ulcerative colitis and scope them just at some random time, you're going to see most of the damage in the
More inflammation
in the ulcerative colitis
Yeah.
group. So the fact that Crohn's did better, makes sense to me.
Yeah.
All right, that's fantastic. And I love it when we find out new things about
know.
stuff, and it's like it's 2025, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just now dawns on us that maybe we should look at what's building the mucosal lining. But maybe we should start applying this to every lining, endothelial lining. Let's get to the root.
You look at these nutrients and just figure out where they found in the body naturally. And
I love it. That's great.
likely it's going to happen or be beneficial if you take those nutrients.
Guess what? In number 3, and I know I think you find this really interesting.
You know I do.
Seasonal eating. We actually had a nice interview with somebody that talked a little bit about.
We did, and that was kind of what made me think about this study.
Ayurvedic medicine specialist.
Yes.
Talked about seasonal eating. And so tell us what it means, just so everybody, let's get on the same line.
Well,
here.
it means consuming fruit and vegetables during their natural harvest period. And we're seeing that there are many health advantages. The fruit is fresher. And we can go through, I think we have 3 kind of main categories of the benefits, but higher nutrient density and antioxidant content, greater freshness, reduced nutrient loss, and enhanced dietary variety and nutritional biodiversity, which then leads to more diverse gut.
Which is very important.
Biodiversity because you're eating more of a variety of foods.
Yeah. Here's what I would add to this.
Okay. Give it to us.
This all works, for local eating, because there are people that would respond to this and say, well, because we have airplanes now and all kinds of shipping, that you can get what's in season on the other side of the world. Like if it's not in season now in Australia, it might be, and you can get. But so what we're talking about is where you live, eating seasonal in that locale.
I think it's a combination.
Oh, okay.
But yes, generally speaking, we're talking local, seasonal eating. But there are times you will see, I know in our local grocery store, there is a section that says seasonal eating. And that food may come from
another
a different
country
area
or whatever. Yeah.
But it is seasonal during this time, specifically in the U.S. It'd
be cool. It'd be cool though if they had a little section for in season right here where you live, in season, from other places,
I do
something
see
like
that.
that.
So there's another section that says local.
Okay, there you go. So I kind of like that.
It's really nice, and I always try to make sure. Okay, kids, we have to find something over here that we like.
Just pick a fruit. Like, what's one of your favorite fruits?
Right now, nectarines.
Okay,
the season's almost over.
See, that's because in Florida, nectarines. Well, it's almost always in season here, isn't it?
No,
it's not. I know. No, even here in Florida, the citrus has its season.
Yes.
It's a long season, but it does end in fall, right?
Yeah.
So there's an example of like, what about avocados? When are they in season?
I don't know, because we have the different varieties. So I know I should know this because my neighbor has an avocado tree that hangs over.
Yeah.
And
I think isn't it more fallish or something? The reason I'm asking because I saw a commercial with an avocado that had olive oil and a little salt on it, and it made me hungry.
But you can tell when they're not in season because they don't look
for?
that great. Sometimes you see them.
It was a commercial for cottage cheese, and they were putting the olive oil and the avocado on cottage cheese.
I don't know about that. That seems like too much fat. Need some lemon to cut through.
Sure, throw some lemon on it. It'll look good.
But okay, so back here.
I can't even have I didn't even eat it. It was a commercial. She's yelling at me.
Listen, look at this study, Dr. Mike.
Oh, sorry.
There's a study in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that in-season broccoli harvested in the fall contains nearly twice the amount of vitamin C compared to the same crop grown out of season.
I totally 100% agree with seasonal eating. I think
Love that.
The soil the soil changes with season.
Mm-hmm.
That means what it's going to be able to optimally grow is going to change. I mean, it just makes sense to me.
And then we also know that nutrients degrade rapidly after harvest. So this goes to your original question. We're talking about local because if it's in season in Mexico, well, that's right here. But if it's in season in South America, by the time they load it up, they harvest it, then it kind of sits, and then there's the travel time. Sits in the warehouse for the grocery store. And then you have the trucks that now it eventually makes it to the store. The nutrients have degraded.
Yeah. I make it right. That
or
was
some.
my point.
I mean, you're still going to get some.
Yeah,
but
it's not going. I mean, of course, it takes a good week to get from some place to where you can buy it at least.
Yeah.
If not longer. What if I just can't afford to do all that? Can I just go with frozen?
You can, but let's clarify this. Seasonal foods are usually cheaper. Because there's a surplus.
Oh, that's right.
Especially if it's a bumper crop or a bumper season. You can get them cheaper.
Yeah.
Farmers markets, when we're talking local seasonal eating, you can't beat the prices at your farmers. You can't beat. I was at the swap shop a couple of weeks ago. That's our kind of a big farmers market. You can't beat those prices.
Yeah,
and
that's pretty good.
Local.
Those are pretty
fresh
good. Yeah.
Food.
Well, I guess what I was hinting at is I don't. A lot of people sometimes when you start talking about seasonal eating, organic eating, whatever, it's like, well, they don't have a lot of money to do anything with it. But I get what you're saying there. It is cheaper. But frozen vegetables is not a bad choice.
We've talked about this too. The frozen vegetables are usually frozen and it kind of locks in that nutrient.
Yeah.
It's a moment in time.
You had said there was some study that showed sometimes frozen can even be more there's more
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do what you got to do. Get your vegetables in. That's the point.
Absolutely. We don't buy a lot of juice in our home, but we do keep the frozen vitamin C. The frozen.
The concentrate?
Yes.
That good old, like the old day concentrate?
That you have to mix it with 4 of those cans of water. We keep it in the freezer just in case, like, we ever have a guest or a play date and the kids are like, we want juice. So the amount of vitamin C compared to the vitamin C that you just buy, compared to the orange juice that you buy,
much more expensive the other way. Yeah.
Much more vitamin C in the frozen.
And it's more expensive.
Concentrate.
Yeah, so the concentrate's a little cheaper, I think, right?
And there's more vitamin C.
There you go.
Boom.
Boom.
Okay, that
done. Jeez. All right, there's your 3 ins for living forever-ish. Now here's the out. This is what if you want to live a little longer, a whole lot stronger. You gotta avoid this, and it's insufficient sleep. Now, let me ask the question right up front.
Okay.
Are we talking about there's a difference between lack of sleep versus inefficient sleep? Can I explain to you before you?
Yes.
Because somebody may actually sleep, but it's not good sleep, versus somebody who can't sleep. Is there a difference there?
I think it's all of the above, at least for this study.
Okay, gotcha.
Because the participants, their sleep assessment included 7-day wrist actigraphy and 2-night home polysomnography. So they're looking at everything. They're not just looking at kind of number of hours that you sometimes get with your smartwatch.
Yeah.
They're looking at sleep quality. This is detailed sleep architecture.
And this was the one that was in what some clinical trials are now describing as emerging adults, right?
Yes.
That's just 15 to 25. It's
18 to 28.
18 to 28. And it's just a transitional phase I get. I mean, it's a new word for me. I mean, in most clinical trials, they just, once you're over 18, they call you an adult.
Yeah.
But so this was an emerging adults. It's pilot study.
Yes.
Small. And we're just trying to learn some basic things. Now, we all know in general, the results can't be good if you're insufficient sleep, right? I mean,
right. And so what they were looking at is the association between sleep and, just to keep it simple, food intake.
oh,
If you are not sleeping, are you more hungry? Do you have an increased desire to eat? Just overall food consumption, fullness.
yeah. I mean, that's an interesting, because if you're not sleeping well, a lot of that could be connected to stress. And what do we do? What do we like to do when we're a little stressed? We eat.
Yes.
It's something like that, right? And so I would assume the better sleep you're getting, the less need for snacking and stuff.
Right. So the researchers saw that longer sleep duration and better sleep efficiency. So it's a combination. And this is over 6 months. Were linked to reduced appetite and lower drive, that hedonic drive for sweet foods.
Oh, and it was more connected. Yeah, and that makes sense. The simple carbs, the sweet foods, lots of good sugar that helps you feel
Yes.
better. Yeah.
So what I'm thinking here is the people, if you're having the sweet tooth that you can't figure out where'd this come from, maybe get a sleep study. Maybe you're not sleeping, or maybe you think you're sleeping,
but you're really not going through the stages well, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
That's really awesome. I like that. So there you go. There's 3 ins and 1 out. I found for all of this, I really like the cashew, even though it's not my favorite nut.
Yay.
What about you?
I thought the sleep, although the study is the pilot study, but
Yeah.
I love this connection when people sometimes, especially when it comes to appetite, and they're just like, I don't know what to do.
Maybe you got to think about sleep, right?
Yes, that's kind of thinking of looking at the whole person.
I think we're getting to the point now where if you have any problems, you should look at sleep in your gut. I mean, that's seriously, we're learning like a lot of
Sounds
things come
about
from
right.
those 2 things. All right, that was our living forever-ish, the ins and outs. Don't forget, you go to lifeextension.com/ no, you can actually just go to liveforeverish.com. Let me do that over. You can just go to liveforeverish.com and check out all of our other episodes there. There's a lot there. And we just ask that, when you download, go ahead and like it, share it. Give us a review. That's really important to us, and we appreciate that. And then our sponsor, Life Extension, at lifeextension.com, wants to offer you a special discount. When you shop there, put in podcast at checkout, and you'll get 10% off $50 or more, plus free shipping and handling. I'm Dr. Mike. That's
Dr. Crystal.
Thanks for listening.